What is going on, guys? It is your boy Cali Mac on the track level whack, bring it back, and we are back with Strawhat Sitdown, episode 141.
Ooh, let's get it.
Let's go.
Meow, 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 meow. I am here with the gang. Not as usual. Our war mod had to call in sick.
That's informally too.
Yeah, very, very formally. Like he was calling off for work, but it's cool. It'd be like that. We're wishing him well. Hopefully he gets better. You know what I mean?
Feel better, mod.
We'll go ahead and run the 3-man weave. No, not the what was it again? The Monster Trio. I'm gonna go ahead and run the Monster Trio for the one time. Mr. G in the building though. What's going on, my brother? I like that snuggie. We twinning out here. You feel me?
I'm chilling, bro. It was stupid cold in the house this morning, so you know, just gotta snuggie up. Got my little hito what's it called? Chopper's fruit over here.
Hito on me, yes sir.
Yeah, hito on me.
Gas.
Also, quick shout out, yo, to that boy Straw huss boy. Yo, getting that new job. Congratulations, brother.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. So the Strawhat Sitdown announcement. Yeah, I had an interview Thursday. Worked out. So yeah.
Congrats, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Gango.
Hell yeah, bro. Of course. You know, I gotta keep it real. We all supporting each other on and off the stream. This is how we are. We family over here.
That's real.
You know, so just nothing else. I did have another shout out, but I completely forgot. So that will come on later on.
All right. It'll be like that sometimes.
Out there, definitely, bro. Especially with this chapter, bro. Chapter.
That's real. Last but not least, Wyatt's in the building, my brother.
What's going on, man? I'm chilling. Yeah, as Mrs. said, I had an interview, got a little security joint. I got to do the training, and then making some better money, I guess.
Nice.
So yeah, so a great week, obviously, I guess, and then we get a chapter the same day, I guess. So fire, bro. I'm having a great one, and keep going with the discussion. It's gonna be a good one. I feel like there's the ending was so crazy that it kind of gets overshadowed, but I think there's a good amount of interesting stuff in the whole chapter. So I'm hyped. Let's get to it.
Yeah, and you know what? Like the ending obviously was the big oomph moment from the chapter, but I've seen a lot of discourse over the week over some parts in the middle of the chapter. But we'll get to it.
You have to fill me in. I read the chapter kind of late, so
No, there's been a lot of discourse outside of just the ending. Like I've seen it up and down my timeline.
Nice.
But we'll talk about it when we get there. Before we start the chapter, I want to turn to the cover page and give a special shout out to Franky's Japanese voice actor Kazuki Yao, who officially announced his retirement from the One Piece anime. I believe he's been doing it since the character's introduction in Water 7. Yep. Obviously, Franky is one of the most charismatic members of the Straw Hat, and like he might have one of the most memorable voice lines in Super. So it's definitely done an amazing job. Big shout outs to him. Hope he enjoys his retirement. And the cover art, Oda is also paying tribute to Mr. Yao. Really dope cover art with giant Franky robot and everybody riding on top of him. Pause.
Yeah, it's really good.
And I want carrying them, bro.
Yeah, man. When it first announced that he was retiring, and I think Mr. brought it up on the stream, it hit me then that like, damn, that's like a Straw Hat, member, like calling it quits. So, big shout out, man. Enjoy retirement. Did you guys see they had like at Jump Fest this weekend? They had like a.
They did. Show. I was posting that in our.
Okay, fire. I caught it right before I entered the call today. That was beautiful, man. What a go.
So I actually just posted in our Discord. It's a quick little video of him passing on the trophy, passing on the torch to the new voice actor, and it's pretty cool. It's a short video, but you see him like passing on Franky's underwear, pretty much.
It's so sweet, but so like it's so hilarious. But we, those who don't know, right? So
that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
And they had a whole little tribute yesterday, and the voice actor, what is his name?
The new one?
The new voice. Yeah.
It's Kimura Subaru.
Yes. He also, fun fact, he did the voice of Todo in Jujutsu Kaisen, Tendo, and Haikyuu.
Oh, that's a big time voice. Wow.
That's fine.
And he does the voice of your boy from Slam Dunk. What's the main character's name again?
Oh,
Why Huss?
Sakuragi Hanamichi?
Yes. He
Oh
does the
my
voice of him.
goodness. Okay, no, we gotta go.
Yeah,
Okay,
for
you
the
know
Slam
what?
Dunk movie. Yeah,
That's
dude.
what I was worried about. I was who's gonna do a good job, but that guy's a legend. There's a lot of crazy voices, so wow, that's hype. That's fire.
Yes. So we are in good hands. I'm excited. I'm excited.
That is definitely fire. Big shout outs to the new voice actor that will be replacing Yao as Franky, Kimura Saburo. I'm sure he'll do an amazing job as his track record has shown. And yeah, this cover art is nice. This cover art is nice. I think it's a very nice send off for an amazing voice actor.
Yeah, just beautiful too. Aside from the meeting, like Oda went ham.
And I think Franky is actually one of the characters that Oda created for Kazuki Yao, because Kazuki Yao did Django's voice at first, and then he did Bon Clay, and then like because they wanted to keep him on more, that's why Oda's like, nah, I love this guy's energy, and was like, he made Franky in a way like based off of him a way, so it was pretty cool. Okay. And Oda also had a whole letter about his send off too, and with like an update on the anime and the manga, which is was pretty good too.
And that's fire.
I was actually about to ask if you guys wanted to go over that real quick before the chapter.
I haven't heard of it. Is it big time?
It's pretty big time.
Let's do it.
We can really just go over the manga portion. We don't have to do over the whole message.
I agree.
Yeah, so
I put it up on the.
Yeah, I have it right here. I'll just read it real quick. Just the manga portion. Yeah. So this is from Oda from Jump Fest yesterday, 2 days ago. At some point this weekend, he did it. The One Piece segment where he went over the future of the anime, manga, live action, etc., etc. And for the manga, every year, he does a little paragraph talking specifically about the manga and where they will be going in the future. Mm-hmm. So for this year, he says, "As for the manga, at last we have reached Elbaf. Everything seems to be laid back and all in this country, but the arrival of a certain man will break that calm. Meanwhile, we'll also see abnormal phenomena happening in the other oceans. That man will finally begin to stir up the world. Enjoy the breather while you can, for you may not get a chance to catch your breath again."
So we in it, bro. He's giving us that warning, dude. Just like the Straw Hats got the warning a few chapters ago, he's giving the world the warning right now.
So the two major parts is him trying. I can't even speak properly. That a man will appear at Elbaf, and that another man will start doing shit outside of Elbaf.
Yeah.
I have not the slightest clue, but
I mean, I feel like this chapter is part one, or the chapter just read is part one, and I feel like if I'm trying to read into it, maybe he's talking about both this person and Shanks in the second part. If I'm trying to, be like a nerd about it or whatever. So
the second part, I was thinking of Teach. I mean, especially with his.
That was my first assumption when I read it as well. I thought of Teach.
With his powers, he could definitely start changing the oceans and world. But then also, we don't know if it could also be Emu with the with the weapon. You know what I mean? So because that should actually change the ocean. So it's definitely up in the air, but
we can also see like what if Pluton, if it's Blackbeard and Blackbeard takes Pluton from Wano, we could also see like what the effects Pluton will have on the world. It could be that as well. Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities. This is a crazy message, and I'm not surprised. Like I think the pacing of the last few chapters, like it really slowed down, which I'm not mad about at all. It was needed and necessary, and I felt like Egghead's pacing was just insane. Yeah. And I don't think it's gonna be like a slope. It's only gonna keep going upwards in terms of insanity. And I think Elbaf is gonna be beyond anything we've predicted. So yeah, I'm not surprised. It's gonna be insane the rest of the way.
This is the roller coaster, bro. This is the roller coaster for the finale, bro. We're going up, down, down. Like
we're at like the apex right now. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And real quick, but in that letter also, it was pretty cool that Oda talked about the live action, and he actually got to see the set as they're making the show. So he got to see them, because before he saw everything after it was done at the end of season 1, but this time he was actually visited the set while they were doing season 2. So he gets to see like everyone working, doing the acting, and there's a cute little interview between Iñaki Godoy, the actor of Luffy, and Oda, and he's actually speaking in Japanese. Like he's been training like this whole year since he started becoming Luffy to learn Japanese so he could talk to Oda, which was pretty cool.
That's sick. I would have crumbled if I was him.
Yeah, he did good too, man. So it was awesome seeing that. and like, because Oda said like even though One Piece is becoming worldwide, the live action did help it big time over here, because a lot of people started with the live action, you know, and they're like, hey, we loved it, and then they continued it into the series as we know. So that's why he did it, and you know, and fucking smart move. This guy just monopolized the whole world, the whole industry.
He's taking over, bro.
And also they also announced a movie, One Piece movie coming out soon. So we got movie, anime, manga, live action. Like, yo, you can't touch Oda right now, bro.
Nah, he's on fire.
One Piece is definitely taking over. Big shout outs to Oda, the GOAT. Definitely One Piece had a nice little segment at Jump Fest.
Yes. And they also had the fucking Lakers announcement. They're gonna be at the Lakers game.
Oh yeah, they are.
You know,
they are.
Bro, Michael had Bugs. LeBron had Luffy, bro. The GOAT debate's over.
I remember when like, yo, Kylie, I remember when you were like, yo, you know, One Piece really taking over when they were at the Red Sox game, and then they were at the LA Rams game. Now they're at the LA Lakers. Like, they're hitting every sport, bro. That shit is peak, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy that two of them are on the West Coast too. Something about Cali specifically. That's cool. It's definitely cool. Shout out to One Piece, the GOAT. Let's get into this chapter because we got a lot to talk about.
Yes, we do.
Chapter 1134, the Owl Library.
Oof. We
start this chapter with Luffy thanking Saul for keeping Robin safe for as long as he did. Saul laughs and says that he knows Luffy because Emperor.
Yeah.
Something funny to note that I found on Twitter is that this exact pose is the same pose that Jinbei used when he first appeared to the crew in Wano, right? Wano. Yes, when he pulled up in Wano, thanking them for letting him fight alongside them and whatnot.
So I did not know that. That's a good pickup. Yeah,
it's dope. So Luffy is copying that pose right now, thanking Saul for keeping Robin safe.
And it seems like the speech bubble of like, where did you learn that, is almost coming from Jinbei, who's like the front of that group of the Strawhats. I think that's funny. Yeah, this is a sick moment.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Saul comments on the words that he spoke to Robin however many years ago about how she'll eventually find friends and live a wonderful life, and she reaffirms that she did. She completed the mission, and the whole Straw Hat crew starts crying. I almost started crying again, but I had to lock in this time. I couldn't do it 2 chapters in a row.
I literally, I'm like, nope, it's not happening.
I had to lock in. Yep. Saul continues to thank all of Robin's friends, the Straw Hats. He talks about how he rehearsed this intro over and over again with the assistant, which is funny. And he talks about how he was in the Navy, so he knows what an emperor is, like what an emperor really is. So he understands the weight of Luffy being here and being on their side, on Robin's side, etc. And he thanks everybody, says keep it up, etc.
You know what I find kind of interesting, just a little side note, is that when Saul was in the Navy, Shanks was not an emperor. I guess it was maybe Gold Roger 20 years ago. I just find interesting that it's 4 emperors, and I wonder if like the warlords, they get cycled out. And like, I know it just happened recently in the One Piece world, but I just wonder like who the fuck were the warlord emperors before Shanks, if anything. You know what I mean? I just find it interesting that
I would assume Whitebeard was still one. No.
Yeah, probably Whitebeard, probably Roger. But I wonder.
Rocks.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, Rocks was maybe Big Mom.
Rocks was after. Well, no, Rocks was dead. Rocks was dead by now. Yeah, Rocks was before. Pardon. Yeah.
So it was probably still Big Mom Kaido still.
Yeah, that would make sense. Big Mom Kaido, Roger, Whitebeard.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a good guess.
Line interesting.
No, that's interesting. That's definitely an interesting point.
I'm curious now that you mentioned, I'm curious as to when the 4 Yonko like came to be type of thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I mean, there's also other people in Rox's pirate crew that was
Shiki,
huge. You know,
well, I guess Shiki might have been. I don't know when Shiki got out of prison.
But
you're right.
It's just questions.
No, it's cool, interesting, very interesting. So Saul's thanking the Straw Hats, and then Vegapunk Lilith, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Lilith
You locked in, bro. You good?
Yeah. Lily flies up to Saul. It's like, hey, remember me? I'm Vegapunk. And Saul's like, who the fuck? What the fuck? Just confused as hell.
How you flying, bro?
Yeah, how are you a girl now? Like, just confused as hell.
Yeah.
So then Lily goes back to the ship and takes out a device. Or asks Jinbei to help her take out a device from the ship. Which the female giant whose name is escaping me.
Gerd.
Yeah.
Gerd helps assist them to get off of the ship. Vegapunk says that this is another Vegapunk, but a perfect recreation, unlike the satellites. And this is the Stellar unit that came to Elbaf 20 years ago. She just affirms that, don't you think the government would be suspicious if Vegapunk was gone for months, so he had to make this clone, etc. She says that she snuck him out in a vat of biofluid, but she does not have the facilities to safely extract him, so she wants to build a lab here at Elbaf.
Makes sense.
This is when Bonnie comes in, is like, can you fix my dad too? And she's like, hell yeah.
I know, Kylie, this is where the discourse was.
Yeah. So this
okay, because you guys are talking about this. Yeah.
Yeah, this is where a lot of the discourse I saw over the week from the community stem from. I saw a lot of people actually against this, like, wholeheartedly and completely not liking this chapter off of this one segment. Seen it a few times. From big accounts too. I was surprised, but a lot of people think that this is disingenuous and it kind of undermines the Marine Kizaru, undermines Kizaru's seeming what's the word I'm looking for? Perceived internal struggle. There we go. Look at me go. Words.
You hit that shit. Goddamn.
And that bringing Kuma back would also undermine his sacrifice. So that's been the discourse for a lot of the week.
What I think surprised me a lot about the conversation is that people have it as like a foregone conclusion.
Yes, that was exactly what I was gonna say. 100%. Go ahead.
Like, I think Egghead, if I learn anything from Egghead in terms of like the rest of the series, bro, I will never be able to predict what's gonna happen, like in a macro scale of things. Like, nigga, if you told me the Gorosei appeared on this island, I would have said, "Shut up, bro." You know what I mean?
Egghead, right?
Yeah. And then at the end of this chapter, God's Knights are here after like what, 5 chapters on Elbaf?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, damn, spoiler, dude.
My bad for whoever was reading this chapter with us. I apologize.
That's tough.
But yeah, I think it's like even without thinking about that, like the chapter has a crazy ending that is obviously going to tear up the rest of whatever the plans that Strawhat's had for this whole arc, right? Like, I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that Lilith will have the time, maybe even the space or the further plans. Who knows? Maybe they have to leave the island for some reason. Maybe a lot of the island gets destroyed if it becomes a huge battlefield, right? With certain players potentially coming in, or maybe the use of Uranus. Who fucking knows, right? Like. I think people are. I just think it's crazy. It's a foregone conclusion, and I think there's also discussion to be had about, the difference between Vegapunk and Kuma coming back. I think Vegapunk is more understandable. I think Kuma, I agree, and I think Callie, you were talking about it in the chat. How like Kuma is a very Oda has to play his cards right with Kuma because of how near and dear and how amazing it was done in Egghead.
Yes.
Like that scene of him, shutting down his consciousness, basically dying, is just. Like without parallel, maybe in flashback. So I agree. I think it's scary, but I don't think it's gonna happen. So we don't know what's gonna happen. So people are a little bit antsy, I think, after Saul.
Yeah, that was my first thought when I saw a lot of the discourse. And nowhere in this page is it confirmed that they're gonna come back 100%, because we don't know what's gonna happen between now and that point in time. And yeah, I did say earlier this week we had a discussion in the group chat, and I did say, like Y has said, that Kuma coming back has to be done properly. I said that one of the only ways that I would be okay, possibly, with a Kuma return is if it's mostly facilitated by Bonnie. If Bonnie ends up becoming the one who turns the tables and saves her dad for the one time, I think that fits thematically, at least.
And it's definitely possible with her powers that we know. So
right, but if it's just if Lilith just builds this lab and brings Kuma back and Kuma joins the fight, then I'm like, what the fuck? That's not cool.
I agree.
No, I agree. And honestly, I don't think that's gonna be able to happen, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think this lab is gonna be made, and I don't think they'll have time to fix Kuma. I don't know. Like just how you were saying, Callie. Like right now, even Otis, like everyone's catching a breath, but something's gonna start and shit's gonna pop off, and then everything, like everyone's like calming down, and they're gonna quickly have to flip a switch and get back on it because obviously other people have intentions, as we see at the end of the chapter. So I think what you were saying before, like this feast that we're supposed to be getting. I'm more with you on that.
I want my credit. Hello,
Yeah,
my credit, please. Thank you.
Of course. That's what I'm saying. Like I think I'm more with you on that now, more than before. I don't think we're gonna get that feast, and like I said, I don't think we're gonna get this lab, and I do think at some point Kuma will sacrifice himself to protect everyone. Like because I agree, bringing him back would definitely diminish everything that we went through with him before, and I don't know.
Especially if he's just chilling, right? If he's just like, I'm here now. Oh yeah, I can do whatever I want now. I'm just walking around. I'm blah blah blah.
Yeah, like no repercussions to anything. Like, what was the point of anything that happened?
Yeah, exactly.
Like if he's in a diminished state, if he's maybe like has to give one last push, sure, you know what I mean. That's understandable.
Cause like that's what I was gonna say. Is I also on the other side of that, I also think that while Kuma's arc is. I hesitantly say complete. I do think that he's not just being brought along for no reason, or he would have been finished at Egghead.
Yeah, no, I concur.
I can see him, like Why has said, maybe one final push, or like both you guys said, having one final push to save everybody or do something while still in the state that he's in.
Yeah, because I think that also extends to Vegapunk too, like the original, because like him dying, like it didn't really have any sort of like reaction much. Like Luffy like was off screen sad about it for a little while, right? But in terms of Egghead's arc, we saw Sanji basically only react to it. We saw Sanji when it happened, like say a panel of like, wait, why are you smiling, right? Because he knew the thing would go off. And B, we saw Sanji at the end on the boat, like looking at his corpse, like, are you really dead type shit? I think that's always something like it's something along those lines. So I think Oda is purposefully, especially with Vegapunk, like, and obviously there's Lilith and the satellite somehow like reformed and got away. I think there's a lot of like Oda, and even there's a chapter when Mars saw Vegapunk's brain and talked about like, what does your dying even mean, right? Like, when you look at something like this. So I think Oda is purposefully not giving us a finality to Vegapunk, and I think if Vegapunk comes back in terms of his stellar body, I also am like, he wasn't really ever gone. This chapter, when Lilith said to Saul, I'm Vegapunk, it really hit me then, and really then, that like, oh yeah, this really is Vegapunk, it's not Lilith. Like, I know it's Lilith, but it's not, what I mean?
Right.
So, but yeah, I agree, there's more, we haven't got the finality of either of these characters, so I'm interested in where it goes, and I have trust in Oda.
I do too.
Yep, always. All right. So Vegapunk explains their plan. As they're doing that, we get introduced to the Owl librarian, also Saul's assistant, Ange.
Oh.
I don't know. She looks evil to me. I ain't gonna lie. Like when I first read it, she's something weird about the way she looks. It just throws me off. I'm not gonna lie.
Bro, that's funny.
But yeah, she tells when we're introduced to her, we're also introduced to a couple of kids who Saul had stay away from the area, from playing in the area, so that he could get his prank off, which he ended up not even scaring Robin with. It'd be like that, I guess. But yeah, she introduces herself. She talks about how the spring is a playground for children, and talks about how she runs the best library / school in Elbaf. She offers to show everybody around, and Luffy and Usopp in typical fashion are like, we're out of here, I don't care what you're saying, we're out, and they speed off ahead of everybody to the library, or the school. It's the same building, more or less.
Yeah.
She talks about the school, where the children learn, about how Saul founded it 20 years ago at the orders of the king, and One of them asks if this is basically a warrior training ground, which kind of starts a theme throughout this chapter. We see more of it in a little bit. Saul tells everybody, go ahead, do what y'all want to do. I'm showing Rob in the library. We get Chopper, Nami, Sanji, Brooke to the library.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I missed Brooke completely. Holy shit.
Yeah, because I see him in the back saying he's going to school. I guess Franky and Jinbei, I guess they're going too. I don't remember seeing them in the library later.
I think Franky said he's interested about the Atom Tree.
Yeah, Franky and Jinbei both. Yeah, they seem interested in the tree, so I guess they're staying outside. Because I don't remember seeing them.
They don't follow, I think.
I think you're right.
And then we have Luffy, Zoro, and Usopp headed towards the school section of the building. And we see them getting chased away by a bunch of boy kids. One of them calls them Pipsqueak humans. Let's catch them and take them prisoner. And Zoro's like, should I slash them? Like,
yo, Zoro been mad aggro, bro.
Yo.
You wildin', bro.
You're gonna slash a kid. Like, what's wrong with you?
Shut up, bro.
Usopp's like, what are you doing, man? He's like, you're right. I guess kids are supposed to be brats. And then we get some of the girl kids just completely scolding the boy kids, getting them to stop in their tracks. And yeah, they get called wimps. It's pretty funny. Luffy calls them wimps. Yeah.
You know, now that I think about it, bro, I know what Zoro's feeling, bro. Because yesterday I was with one of my nephews, and he punched me in the face, bro. And I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to socket this motherfucker, bro. I said, oh, you lucky you four, because right now, boy, oh, you know. So I feel that, bro.
Yeah, no, you gotta store that for 20 years. And get it back.
It definitely do be like that sometimes.
Funny,
oh man.
Yeah, so Zoro's confused. He's like, are these brats really the from the village of warriors? And Usopp's also like, aren't you guys about to go out to sea? Aren't you guys gonna go out to sea one day and become warriors and fight people and all that stuff? And all the kids are like, what? We're not doing that. That's dangerous. And even one of them said, Usopp says, aren't you guys the next generation of warriors? And then they're like, don't call us guys. And everybody's just confused. Like, they're acting a lot differently than what the legends had included them to be. And then we get another voice saying that it's not it anymore. They're all confused at where the voice is coming from. And the kids say, you guys should watch out for you get yelled at from the lady you're standing on top of. Who we find out is the Walrus School's biology teacher, Ripley.
Yes.
Oda. Yeah, Oda's a legend. He's a goat. So they're standing on top of the giant, but she doesn't really care because they're not heavy. She asked them if how the giants are acting is shocking to them. And how the warriors of Elbaf that they've come to her about are from 100 years ago. And things like insults, violence, pillaging, and war are just not the world that they live in anymore.
Very interesting.
I need to be Luffy in this bottom panel on the left. I'm not gonna lie, I need it. Yep. It's a biological need. And she's a biology teacher. Look at that, the connection.
Oh.
Yeah, she'll teach you. I'm sure she'll teach you a lot too. So.
Yo, yeah, so she has already heard about them from Saul. Ange has finally caught up to them, so they got a majority of the gang here, including the children. She says she apologizes for the brats being so annoying. They call her mean, and she says, I teach by negative example, which is like, what? That's funny.
That's real.
And we get a little bit of history. Well, history that we somewhat already knew. She talks about how the great King Harold once said, don't fight with other countries, trade with them. And how this king got into many arguments with the chiefs and their older traditions. Ange talks about how he was a great king who tried to reform this country and was killed by his own son before his dreams could be realized. But the country never gave the son the throne, talking about Loki, of course. And so right now, Elbaf has no king.
I think this is like what this makes me think of is that Oda played an interesting trick on us in the Big Mom flashback by only showing us a place under the jurisdiction of the village chiefs like Jarl and Joro, the guys that Big Mom. I think Big Mom killed one of them honestly when she had her like her hunger pang or whatever.
Yeah, the first one.
That like, and also that was like what 50 years ago. So like, Oda really played a trick on us in terms of like showing us back then, and also like it was like only we didn't see the king, we didn't see any other kids or whatever. Like it's just interesting that like Oda's really been hiding this section of Elbaf from us, and I just find it so interesting that this is the route he chose to go. I'm intrigued a lot of where it's gonna go with all these these kids having a different culture because of the king. And people all really like him. They called him the Great King. They all like loved him. They were sad that he got killed. Like, despite him clashing with their traditions, it's very interesting.
No, this is definitely a very different perspective than we have been fed over the last however many years of One Piece. And we know that there's gonna be conflict coming to this island at some point, in part either due to the Straw Hats or the end of the chapter, whatever the case may be. So it's gonna be very interesting seeing how these kids and these giants who were raised under peace react under distress. Yeah. I do think it's interesting. This is an interesting angle that Oda took for sure.
It's funny because we actually technically talked about this a while ago about how like there might be some sort of clash between the warrior giants, and we at first I think I mentioned it might be the nobles or royalty that might be more peaceful. Which was a complete guess, and I guess I was kind of right about King Harold being someone who was people. That was a complete utter guess. I thought it would be because they're soft and not because it was a value thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we kind of already talked about it and about how that might have been that might be part of the conflict. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. And obviously Usopp's dreams are being shattered in front of his eyes.
Yeah,
that's true. Also, when that flashback with Big Mom, weren't they trading at the time?
Trading
why was she there again? Like
she got left there, if I recall. And then what's her name? Mother Caramel was running the orphanage,
right?
Yeah, which was an undercover like slave operation, right?
Yeah. So, but why was the giants there? They were
because the Mother Caramel, her first thing she ever did was she saved a lot of giants from execution by the Navy and started the Marine Giant Program. So they rocked with her and they let her have her operation on the island.
Okay, that makes sense. No, I was just curious because like if they're shown at that time, if they already had like a trade thing going on, because how King Carol said trade with other countries, type of thing. So I was curious if Oda was trying to show that, but it's a different.
One thing that you can say is that the Franky getting the Sunny parts and the Tom getting the Oro Jackson parts was probably when the trade started because they got the Adam Tree bark, right?
Yeah, from Elbaf. Yeah.
Right. It's also a little bit more information on King Harold because I don't think we knew anything from the last 5 or 6 chapters.
Not really.
So yeah, we definitely know that he's someone that wanted peace after being a war, a country of war and stuff.
Very
like that.
Interesting, yeah. And despite him clashing with like their traditions, they really rock with him. They're all calling him a great king. Even Ripley, who was a warrior, a giant warrior.
That we know. We don't know if there's any like.
Maybe Dorian Broggy don't rock with him. Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Yo, Ripley's so bad, man. I got lost in the sauce for a sec. I need to lock in.
No, that panel is unbelievable. But yeah. I like her hair too.
Yeah. I like the tattoo.
The tattoo is sick though. I ain't going down the eye and down the side. That stripe is sick. Yeah, that stripe is cool. It's cool. All right. They're done talking history. And the teacher tells the kids to go show them around the school. And then she asks Luffy why he's not in his white-haired form, Nico form, Gear 5, which Luffy says that's his free form. She explains to Luffy that there's a warrior that looks like that in Elbaf mythology, and that they're the last generation of warrior giants here. Has Luffy I think this is the closest Luffy. No, but this and when the Giants first saw Luffy in his Gear 5 form is the closest Luffy's been introduced to what he actually is, right? Yeah.
Thanks.
Interesting stuff.
I thought it was cute.
I feel like the Emmets had like Luffy was like, did you call me Nika or some shit like that? But I don't know. Yeah, it's come up a little time, but this
the
is
giant robot was like Nika, and he's like, "I'm Luffy" or something like that.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah, you're right. I just like that. Ripley is like, I was looking forward to seeing you in your Gear 5.
Yeah,
And that all I'm sure all the warriors from the last generation want to see Luffy as Gear 5. So
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's gonna definitely be a big moment for this arc.
I find it interesting that like Saul hasn't said anything, and it's been like the warriors, because I mean, I know Nika is a warrior, but I was wondering how much of the, like Void Century stuff and history, Saul would have been interested in, not interested in, but how much he would have known in relation to Nika. So I wonder how much he knows. I wonder when it's going to come up, because I feel like he just has all this shit he's about to tell us, but, Oda just acting like it's like, no big deal. You know what I mean?
Oh, he's about to get smoked in front of everybody, bro.
No
right
cap,
before
bro.
right before he's about to say something, he's about to get smoked, dude.
Mm,
Like, then that'll
truly
be it.
unfortunate.
I'll kill him, bro. No, that's not. No, it's not. I can't let that happen.
Yeah, that would be very unfortunate. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, so we move over to the library portion of the building, where Saul is basically talking about the events leading up to how he ended up here. He talks about saving all the books and how he had Hydrogen and the crew take him back to Ohara so he could save all the remainder of the books. And as they enter the library, he tells Robin, be careful of the small book she's holding, which as soon as she steps through the door becomes gigantified. And we get this very nice panel of the entirety of the library. We find out that all the books that enter this library become giant sized. And that every single book that was saved in Ohara 22 years ago is in this library right now. Saul's extremely happy to be able to show this to her. Robin's in tears thinking about Professor Clover. Really beautiful moment, really nice page. That owl at the top is creeping the fuck out of me, but it is a very nice page.
Yo, it's giving me Avatar: The Last Airbender vibes.
Yes, that's really what I thought of when I first saw it.
When I went to that one library with
in the desert,
that shit scared the hell out of me as a kid.
Oh yeah, dude. Especially when man. They are, dude. Especially and they're fucking deadly as hell. Like especially the Avatar one. Like
that one's really, it was moving
when they stole the scroll or whatever, bro. Like, and then Toph trying to hold that shit, and Appa got that shit was crazy, bro.
That was a legendary episode, bro.
Oh my god!
So shout out to Avatar.
Yeah, man. Oh god, that shit hit, bro. Oh man, so good.
Anyways, chilling,
yeah. This is a very nice panel. It's nice to see Robin happy. I'm here for more Robin content.
Always.
She's definitely been shafted for a majority of post time skips. So, but I think since the end of Wano, when she got her moment to beat one of the Flying Six members, she's been getting a decent amount of shine. I'm here for it. She definitely deserves it.
This is what Oda's been building up to,
for sure. And that ends that portion of the chapter. We now move to the underworld, where we see Loki using a transponder snail to talk to somebody we don't know.
No.
He asks if this person he says this person must be as bored as he is. The person asks if they're bothering Loki. Loki says, no, I could use a conversation, and I've got all the time in the world because I'm just locked up.
Also, real quick, Loki's not free. I mean, right?
Yeah. It doesn't surprise me because I think he said that like the keys in the village, right?
Wait, what was Loki supposed to be free? I'm confused.
Well, they were thinking that like part of the promise that Luffy could talk about was that he just freed him.
Yeah.
But we know that Loki said you gotta grab the key from the village.
Yeah, no,
Luffy doesn't know where it is.
I guess I just automatically assumed that he meant he was gonna free him by doing something in the village. I didn't think that meant he was gonna free him right there.
No, well, some people thought that he freed him already.
I didn't know that.
Would be impossible.
Right,
like,
it's Sea Prism.
Sea Prism, exactly.
Yeah.
So.
But okay, Loki is still in prison for sure.
Yeah.
Loki is asking this person on the snail if they're still traumatized by the experience they were talking about. The person says, I am even now. The memory makes me tremble uncontrollably. When I first heard this, my first thought was Emu because of the Joy Boy hockey, but
Yo, that is I haven't heard like I couldn't think of anything, but that's actually not like bad.
That
That's
only
real
because of the
TV.
tremble uncontrollably. Remember, Emu was
Yeah.
literally trembling when he felt the Joy Boy hockey. But I don't really see any reason for them to have a connection.
Yeah, especially not with what the words the guy says later. He seems kind of like Loki kind of paints him as soft. And I don't think I would say
yeah,
he's
you're right.
really
I agree with that as well. So yeah, I have no
Until I
not the
think that
slightest
was
clue.
that was a good like half court shot.
Yeah. You know, that was such a backhanded compliment, but I appreciate you, man.
It was more like understanding of like what it takes to make One Piece predictions.
Nah, you're right. I might be sensitive.
Hey man. Okay.
I know,
It'd be like that. Loki says it hurts him to hear it too, to hear the person under distress. Is that what I'm?
TCB was less. TCB made it seem like Loki had something else to be mad about, like that was kind of similar. But I think this is more like along the lines of the conversation where he's like, because he goes on to say like we've been long friends.
Yeah, right.
So it seems like I've grown to have empathy for you.
Yeah. He says, I've never met you nor seen you, but through some twist of fate, we've been long friends. If I were there in your place, I'd have razed it to the ground and killed them all instead. And this is where the person starts speaking in the way that Waiha says. They're a little timid. They say, I wasn't hoping for that much. Loki calls this person weak, calls him Shaggy.
That could be a possible name.
Seems to be his name because he says it again later. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think TCB had it as Mosa, which probably like
and TCB had a little asterisk next to the name and said that the name was vague because they couldn't fully get the meaning or something like that.
It seems like I think TCB had it as so they had the name as Mosa, but it seems like he was saying Mosa Sir or something like that, some sort of like royal like context or like some sort of high ground, you know what I mean, high status or whatever.
Yeah.
It seems like that's completely not here at all in the official though, and he has a whole different name, right? Called Shaggy.
Yeah, Shaggy. It's like an actual name. It looks like.
Yeah. Sometimes imagine he was talking like that. Sometimes when this happens, I feel like TCB kind of conforms. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was Shaggy in the next TCB as well.
Yeah, that would make sense. Loki goes on to say that this person needs to put them down for good or they'll come back for vengeance. And then this person thanks Loki, saying that they've realized the fearsome words of his hide Loki's kindness. And this just makes Loki black out in a rage, start spazzing. I'll not have you sassy me like this. Me kind, never say that again. The guy asks him not to shout, and he just says, shut up, wait till I get these chains off. Like, he just spazzed as soon as he heard he was kind for whatever reason. This Loki guy, man. Loki guy.
I'm curious, dude. Like what what they're talking about, because right, this person that he's talking to had an experience. We don't know with who, because all we know is that the Straw Hats are on this island. So like, are they talking about them? You know what I mean? And they're using code names. I don't know, like, or are they talking about other giants that are on the island finally back from the island, like Dory and Bragi type of shit?
Yeah. We really don't. We don't have much of anything to go off for this right here.
That's the problem with this page. There's so little to go off of.
Yeah.
I tried to talk about the Mosa character, or Shaggy, I should say, with my boy Grayson, but I literally we had like no way to go with it. I guess that's interesting, Mr. I. It would make sense if it was someone we know, and it could be someone who, for some reason, has some sort of grudge against maybe the Straw Hats, maybe someone we know. That would make a lot of sense. What kind of struck me about this is that Loki seems like a very interesting character. My boy Grayson said that this kind of kindness stuff has made him more skeptical of what they're saying about Loki in terms of killing his dad and all that stuff. Might not even have been him in the first place.
I don't think so.
How do you draw that line from him not wanting to be kind to him not having killed his father?
I think it's not about not wanting to be kind. It's the fact that if we take this to mean like he's just acting, like he's not acting, but in the end he's kind of kind. Like that's what this guy's saying about him, and that you're looking out for me in some ways.
Oh, okay, I get you. Yeah.
That's part one, and part two is that like obviously the whole Loki stuff about like who he's based off of. I think it makes a lot of sense, as Mr. was saying, to not really take anything about this character at face value, and be like I've been thinking more about the Luffy meeting him part. And if Luffy agrees to free him, I know we're talking about how dumb that would be of Luffy, but honestly, I think Luffy is like a very goated judge of character.
Yes.
And it would be interesting if he was like, oh yeah, this guy was no threat at all. You know what I mean? I don't know what made you guys think he would kill people. And then he turns out to be proven right. You know, we get a lot of Luffy's instincts being played up, right? Like in Little Garden when he kicks Mr. 3 among all his clones. I think, like, I'm really starting to be very skeptical of Loki and what we know about him and all the facts and all that stuff. But yeah, I think this kindness thing is kind of making me think that a little more.
Yeah, I think that was. I feel like we talked about that a little bit when Luffy first met Loki, but I definitely 100% agree that Luffy has the highest emotional intelligence of probably anybody in the Straw Hats. So he, if anybody can see who's a threat and who's got a good heart and who doesn't, it's definitely Luffy. And he wouldn't agree to make any type of deal with somebody who he didn't see or he saw evil in.
Yeah, and they might have had a long conversation than we got to see too. Like there might be more to it.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, I mean, but that's where also we're not. This is where like the whole thing that Loki, we know that Loki as a trickster, whether we fool Luffy, but you know, let's say that's out of the question, right? But I do think like this shows that there's kindness. He's just like me, bro. We grumpy. We our delivery is rough, but there's kindness in our words, and like and I feel Loki right now, bro, and so he's probably just fucking upset. Like he's been tied up. Like what if he actually didn't kill his dad? Like and everyone just perceives him. What if like we saw people enter Elbaf without others noticing? You know, like they came in, kill, assassinate, back out, like type of shit, and then he got the short end of the stick and just happened to be there wrong place, wrong time type of shit.
Yo, Mister, I just want you to know, Mister, that if Loki ends up being the most evil human being known to man, I'm coming back to that comparison you made between the two of y'all.
I'm just saying.
All right. If he's just like you, I'm gonna hold you to that.
He's about to be on his villain arc, man. But yeah, no, Mister. I also think he could have taken the fall for someone. Like it also, I think also what I thought about in my conversation with my boy last night was that like Harold could have like had some sort of like problem. He could have been sick either physically or mentally. Like he could have been in like a like Loki could have like honestly mercy killed him or some shit and like just taking the fall for it and then let people know that Harold wasn't right at the end. Some crazy like that. You never know. So yeah, I'm not really attached to the idea of him not killing his dad. Like he might just be an evil motherfucker. He might just be crazy.
It's definitely possible. Definitely possible.
Yeah, he talked about being the sun god and like just creating Ragnarok and all that stuff. Like he might just be an insane motherfucker. But I definitely think like we shouldn't be held to one idea or the other with Loki. I think it could go a lot of different ways.
And then is it possible that the Shaggy is the dude the shadow that we've been seeing? That's been going around, that we saw at the beginning.
That's also possible, but it would be weird if they were on the same island
and they never saw each other or anything. That would definitely be a little weird to me. I imagine this person on the snail is not somebody on the island.
Because we didn't see this snail before when Luffy was there.
No.
So that means someone like it got there somehow when. And how did he not notice? You know what I mean? Like it's
it could also it could be the humans or whatever, like the people that rock with Loki, those little like
this is for you type of shit. Yeah, you're right.
At first I was like wondering about this snail itself because the TCB had a different like subtitle for it. It was like voice recognition and cold resistant type, and I thought at first it meant that it was resisting like the voice recognition feature of snails, which is like. You know how like snails take on the visage of the person talking into them.
Yeah.
I thought at first like it was not doing that, but I was not on the right track. It seems like it's just the way it looks is because of the fur and all that stuff.
It's cold resistant, right?
Yeah. That's really all about that snail.
Well, that's how Oda throws you off, right? Because he knows that we look at that snail, we could get an idea of who it is. Yeah. But now he's like, oh no, the snow resistant. They got a fur on them. They're chilling. Like you can't tell. So.
Yeah. Not too much to break down on this page. We gotta get some more info to see what happens with Loki. But there is some stuff to talk about for this last page, the meat of the chapter. Back in the Western Village, the giants are beginning to start their feast. They're drinking. They're having a grand old time when a black lightning strike strikes the castle in the back of the village. It seems that none of the giants notice, maybe because they're partying or whatever. But where this lightning strikes, a magic circle star shape symbol appears on the ground, kind of reminiscent to the Gorosei's one, and two figures emerge down. One whose face is covered, looks like a girl, and one who looks like a character we are all very familiar with. Red-haired Shanks.
Yes, sir.
All right, what are we thinking? What are we thinking? Is it Banks? Is it Banks confirmed? Shanks and Banks?
I think so, without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, it can't be Shanks, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it can't be, because he had just left Elbaf. He's not coming back. So definitely the whole clone thing or whatever. Or is it the twin? I don't know.
Yeah, I think I fuck with the twin theory way more than clone. Actually, I think clone just doesn't make any sense because clone seems like a Vegapunk thing, and we know Shanks has like been free since a baby. You know, like there would be no chance for him to get the.
The only reason I bring up the clone thing is because people were saying that the girl that's undercover might be like a clone of Olivia or some shit like that. Like,
who's Olivia?
Robin's mom.
Robin's mom, yeah, Nico Olivia. So.
Why?
Is that who she looks like? I don't.
Yeah, if you take a picture like she had like the bang in front type of thing.
That's so random. These niggas are why Olivia? Like that's so random.
I mean, because she was being chased, like, but before she got caught in O'Hara, I don't know. You know, what if they?
Her hair is a bit different.
Why would they clone her and turn her into a god? Well, wait. Are we
her
assuming
eyes are way different too?
Are we assuming? We're assuming that they're gods knights, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm assuming that because with the
it's a fact, honestly. They're gods knights for sure.
With the symbol, you know, just like you said, we saw that with the Gorosei.
Yep.
I could only assume it's the fucking gods knight.
Yep. Like, there's also the fact that, I mean, just the Shanks stuff, right? I mean, I'm gonna ignore the girl because I feel like she doesn't look like anything we know, in my opinion. But with the Shanks stuff, I think, like, if we remember when Sabo, Dragon, and Ivankov are talking about the fact that they're starving the world government, they're talking about the reverie and all that stuff. They say that none of this really is like, it's only the beginning, and the fight will only start when the gods knights start coming into play. It's the first time we even hear about them, right? Or the second time we hear about them, and we get a little like silhouette of them all, right? And in the front, there's someone who looks like Shanks. He has like a very similar griffin type sword, right?
Yes.
And so there was that at first, and then in the spread at the end of Vegapunk's message with all the people that are gonna have a big like role in the rest of the final saga, like, you know, everyone, Sabo, Kobe, everyone was there, and Luffy and the Four Emperors. There was another person that has a sword very similar to Shanks and had like a little bit of a, like, we saw the bottom of his face look kind of a little like his face shape. And now with this, we have.
Hello.
Yo, hello, was? Yo, I thought my computer just broke.
Did Waz die? Waz, is it good, bro?
No, mid-sentence.
It was the same back then.
Yo, Waz, you just exploded mid-sentence, bro.
Oh, word? Yeah, I can tell. Okay.
That was funny.
Where did I leave off?
Oh. Huh.
Wait, where did I? Is it still going bad?
No, you're good now.
Where did I leave off? Because I'm trying to keep my train of thought.
No, not like this. I might be cooked too, bro. I can't remember exactly where you left off exactly.
Okay, but yeah, so it was this Shanks person, right? That we saw him a few times.
Yeah.
We saw something about Shanks, the Gods Knights, a few times. Like, it looks very similar to his statue, right?
The silhouette. Yeah.
And lastly, when we saw the Gorosei meeting, who we thought was Shanks, it was the exact same frame and panel of this angle where we couldn't see his left eye. And everyone was like, yo, if it was Shanks, we would have seen the scar. Even back then, I remember that conversation. And now that Oda is reusing that angle, I'm sure it is not Shanks.
Okay. I like that. Okay.
And it would make sense as to why the guy was like, what do you want to do with politics? And if you know, like, we could finish a sentence for him. It's like, but you're one of the Gods Knights. You know, you're not part of this, you know, suits culture or whatever. If that was what he was talking about back then. So yeah, I definitely think this is one of the Gods Knights. It's definitely Shanks' brother, probably. I mean, it looks just like the guy. And another thing is that Shanks also looked just like his dad, Figarland, or Figarland looked just like him in God's Valley. So their genes are strong as fuck, it seems.
And then in Whitebeard, when he saw Shanks, mentioned the scar, like his scar, like.
When I see your face, it reminds me of the scars I got from him. And at first, everyone thought it was Roger, but it has to be Figarland back in God Valley, probably.
For Garland, okay.
For Garland Garling,
Yeah.
the new girl. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
So
damn.
yeah, I definitely think this is one of the God's Knights. Obviously, the pentagram, teleportation thing. I find it interesting that they could do that without
Oh, they
someone
could.
being
I mean,
there.
that means they could go anywhere, bro. That's crazy,
Yeah, if
dude.
no one was here to teleport them here, like what's it called?
Unless,
Saturn did for the Gorosei, and they just did that. That's crazy.
unless they got someone on the inside that's helping them.
Yeah, unless someone's already here or something like that.
Yeah,
Could
this is
be the
true.
old guy, but no, I think they just I think they were just sent here by like maybe Emu or something. But yeah, very crazy. The God's Knights are already here. Shout out to Cali Mac for saying that the feast was not going to happen.
Oh yeah, I do want my credit. I definitely was like the feast isn't happening, and it definitely looks like it's not. I'm interested to see what the God's Knights move is here. What do we think about some of the people saying that this Shanks twin is also the man marked by flames?
Okay, the first person I think that was saying that was Mr. Morge back when we saw we saw something, I don't know, but because all those things about that I just mentioned, like the fact that it appears to have been this character in that one Vegapunk spread about all the major players,
right?
We appear to have seen him. So if he's gonna be a big role, it's interesting. And another thing is that line when the Blackbeard pirates met Aokiji in that little flashback in the Garp fight. They're talking about the man marked by flames, and Shiryu says, "My guess is that it's gonna be a government man, and the government is probably giving their, one of their strongest fighters the road poneglyph to like keep it safe or whatever, right?" And the thing is, people I think ran with that a lot because they're like, "Oh, Oda's trying to like paint it to us, like, yo, pay attention, that might be the case." So I think there's a lot of merit to it, but I just wonder like. It also makes. I was thinking about why they wouldn't keep it at Marijua, but it also makes sense. Why would they want every big pirate to come to Marijua?
Yeah.
If if it ever got leaked where it was, for example. So yeah, it makes sense that they gave it to one of their strongest fighters who can just, protect it or whatever. I think there's a lot of merit to it, honestly.
That would definitely be. It would make sense. It definitely would make sense.
Yeah, sure.
How do we feel about? I also saw. Did we talk? Did I don't remember. Did you speak about what Whitebeard said? About his scar years back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I was tripping because I remember I'm going through it. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think it doesn't really apply much to this guy. But what I think this might apply to, I don't know why it would apply to this guy. I don't know why it would make any sense, but what would make a lot of sense is if Shanks didn't fight Kaido before Marineford, because him getting from the New World to Marineford in 3 days is psychotic. I don't really believe in it. That was always a big question mark for me. I mean, maybe Oda just wasn't really thinking that one.
But I mean, you saw how fast he was when just getting the kid. If he himself just does his thing.
Well, that was an island over though, no?
Yeah, like he was like, it was from shore to the sea. You know what I mean? Like these niggas are fast. Like Kizaru was really fast. I believe that the highest level of One Piece characters can do stuff like that. But in terms of like in the New World fighting Kaido to getting over the red line or under it, right? If maybe this guy was the one who fought Kaido, maybe somehow, I don't know why that would make any sense, but I just think that would make a little more sense, but it's probably not going to be the case because why would they be working together? I wonder if Shanks knows who this guy is.
Well, looking back to that Whitebeard interaction, I guess Shanks didn't really react when Whitebeard said what he had said.
Yeah.
Yes, I guess there's no way to confirm if he actually knows who he is or not.
I remember in the film Red that the Gorosei, like, we only know Shanks was a Figurlin at first because the Gorosei said that something about his Figurlin family, right? And yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if Shanks has some knowledge about being related to these people or whatever. Do you guys? Okay, I had a conversation. What do you guys think if Luffy saw this person, would he be able to tell if it wasn't Shanks?
Yes.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, I think Luffy's too in tune to yeah. We're literally just talking about Luffy's instincts and whatnot. I definitely don't think he gets confused here.
Yeah, I think this character can fool a lot of people on this island. I wonder if that's the route they're gonna try to go. I wonder if they're gonna be like, I'm Shanks.
And we really don't know what their purpose here is in the first place.
And they're in the throne
why are they showing up?
I think they're chasing the Strawhats.
You think so?
Yeah, because I don't know. I remember Saturn wanted to go out right after them, right? And then Imu just killed him.
Oh yeah, you're right. Because we know that they have Kuma, Vegapunk. They know that Imu was trying to eliminate them.
They've
Gorosei
just
know about
seen
them now.
just seen all the Gorosei like forms, right?
Yeah. They gotta go. That would make sense. Yeah, that would actually make sense.
Yeah, now they're meeting with Saul or whatever. But yeah, Mister, you're about to bring up the room.
Yes, it's the throne room. It's
Yep.
and if you look at it, it looks like if you look at it, part of it is damaged on the top right of the throne of the seat.
Yeah, it looks like it was cut.
Yeah, so I'm assuming I'm curious if that's like how King Harold died, like someone cut him.
I think so
Type
for
of
sure.
shit. You know what I mean?
While he was sitting there, I definitely think it was cooked right there.
That is a good observation. Like you can definitely see part of the throne cut / stuff.
Yeah, like it's torn into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Miss, I definitely agree. Another thing about I really like these 2 pages in general because this page because like we're getting the smallest glimpse of the throne room, you know, like in darkness, it looks like so mysterious. We see a little bit of damage. I think the atmosphere of these panels is really, really good.
It looks like there was a battle, bro. Like if you look at the other parts of like the wall, there's like slashes, like
kind of fucked.
yeah, you know, like so, like something definitely. Like he didn't just like if it was Loki, he didn't just like assassinate his dad. Like
yeah, I mean they had to stop him and chain him up, so it might have been that too, right? Like after
we know that there was a huge battle between Loki and all the warriors of Elbaf. So
yeah. And, man, another thing about Loki is killing his dad is I wonder how he attained the fruit right after. That's very interesting.
Or if someone made it. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time we've seen that happen. You know,
they specifically say that he inherited the fruit from his. He killed his dad to claim
the fruit. Yeah. So it probably is natural, but I wonder if he did like the Blackbeard method. You know, maybe I find it so interesting.
You do the punk hazard method.
So you think his dad?
Oh, the punk hazard method. Yeah, it could be the same. The one of the same. Yeah. Sorry, Mister. What's up?
You think his dad had the fruit?
We know his dad had the fruit. Like in terms of like he was the user.
I took it as they were protecting the fruit. Like it was like a treasure type of thing. I didn't.
You know what would make a lot of sense, Mister? If he never ate it. In terms of who he is as a person and his values, right? Because it usually seems like the king is the person who eats the fruit, or you know, like the king eats the fruit, whatever. It doesn't matter which order, but maybe King Harold is like this fruit is not to be eaten because strength is not to be. That might be the case, but
that's a good point.
That's how I took it when I first read it. So I didn't take because like for him to kill his dad. And then also get the fruit right, like his power right then and there.
It could be the punk hazard method that Callie mentioned. Remember when Caesar sacrificed
keeps the animal like the fruit nearby?
Yep.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. I just took it like they were protecting this fruit, like no one could have this power type of shit.
Yeah, it could. I think that makes a lot of sense, especially now knowing what we know about King Harold. I think that makes a lot of sense. I wouldn't be surprised if Giants King before him were eating it and just had it.
Yeah.
That would make sense. I think another thing that this panel I was wondering about was that now that we know that this castle thing that we saw in the village, we saw this we saw it in that one spread of Luffy and Usopp seeing the village. So it's right beside the village, right? Now that we know that this is the throne room, I really wonder what's going on in the heaven realm and astral realm up there. I am so curious. If it's not the nobility realm, what is it?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
it could be the afterlife realm type of shit.
I thought that too. I thought that it could be like the life, like the. It reminds me of like what if you guys watch or read Frieren Beyond Journey's End, the elf anime. Like they're looking for that, right? It makes me think of something like that maybe.
Yeah, it made me think of like Black Panther, like the astral plane.
Yeah.
You know, so but you know, and I don't think, and it seems like no one since shit went down, no one's been in the castle. You know, they just kind of like
they just boarded it up.
You know, so but another thing, like why I thought that they were protecting the fruit, like that's why like Haji then was like, no, I got to go find another fruit that's just as strong, and that's why he went to he made the new giant pirates to find the Mirror no Mi.
I think Loki ate it.
No, I do think Loki ate it. Yeah. I just think that because they had the fruit and maybe they fought for it type of shit, and then you know,
as opposed to him actually killing and taking the fruit from his father's body specifically. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
I think that's definitely fair. It's definitely a possibility for sure.
Facts, definitely.
Yeah, Loki's so interesting, and this is there's all the like. It's funny how like these little pages can say so much with such few words.
Oda is absolutely the GOAT.
I think one thing we didn't talk about was the Owl Library making books giant.
I feel like there wasn't
much to say there
because we're not really sure if it's a devil fruit or if it's something going on in the. I really couldn't tell you. I'm not gonna lie. My first assumption would be a devil fruit, but
no, that's actually a good assumption. What if it's the owl's devil fruit?
Yeah.
And everything he can just change the size of whatever he looks at.
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
It could be something like that. I thought I remember like last chapter I was talking about like the fact that like there's the riding on rainbows and all that stuff, and like the connection to the sun god and doing whatever you want, and like being free and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought that was just probably like an extension of that, how Elbaf seems like this dreamland where all these mystical things happen. But what I thought was interesting was like the fact that no one knew why the owl library was this way, because giants are old, right? They can be up to 300 years old.
Right.
And it's like, damn, it's at least that old for no one to know. And I just find it interesting. I wonder when it was made. I find it interesting that Elbaf had a library this old, considering it was like a warmongering nation, right? Before this. So yeah, I just thought that was my only takeaway from that. And I think that's all I have to say about this chapter, which was
okay.
It was a crazy
one. I took it as they made this after Saul came with all the stuff.
That was the school. And he just made he just put the Ohara books in this already existing library. I think he said that.
Yeah, no, you're right. As yeah, you're right. Interesting.
Well, what was the library before? Because
it was this library. It was an owl library, I think he says. This is the Wondrous Owl Library.
But this is saying that all the books from Ohara are in this library. There were a lot of fucking books. Ohara. I find it hard to believe that every book in this panel right now is not from Ohara.
Yeah.
That's fair, but like it's also that's interesting. It could, I mean, they could also have just brought, it could just be the Ohara library, but let me read these lines again. Yeah, there's no real way to tell.
Yeah, there's definitely nothing. We definitely won't get a set in stone conclusion confirmation here.
It just kills me how like he just says nothing about this shit. Like he just like, oh yeah, this is the Owl Library. Just makes books huge.
Well, I'm assuming we're gonna come back here. Like this is more like the introduction page where they're just showing what it is, and Robin can have her little flashback moment. I'm sure once we get more into, we get another chapter in the library, we'll get a little more information.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
I need to know about this owl. This nigga's creeping me out. I need to get me off this page, yo. Before we go, I do want to talk a little bit more about Evil Shanks because, well, I don't know if he's evil, but Evil Shanks, because I have seen I've seen a couple people against this whole Shanks twin theory, saying that it's lazy writing from Oda. What would you guys say to that?
I don't think it's lazy writing. I think it's just Oda likes to hit certain tropes that other, literatures have hit before, type of thing. Wouldn't be the first time that Oda has taken something that we've seen in other literature masterpieces and remixed it into his way.
I definitely think it's more of people putting this immense expectations on Oda more than anything, and just expecting everything to be original, brand new, crazy plot twist and insanity. Sometimes a trope is a trope for a reason, you know what I'm saying?
And if he tells an amazing story with the trope, like, is it that bad of an idea of a thing?
Yes.
Like
that was gonna be what I was gonna say as well, is that it definitely it all really depends on how this character is utilized in this arc, or in the rest of the story for that matter.
And I think, like, of all characters that I'm thinking about, I'm not worried about how Oda's gonna characterize Shanks, bro. You know what I mean? Like, this nigga has been in the story since longer than any Straw Hat. Right?
Yes.
This is maybe Oda's most built up character, and I think he has been thinking about how do I use Shanks for literally longer than I've been alive. So I'm not in the slightest worried. I understand, sure. Actually, the one thing I was thinking about was like, okay, how are we gonna do this in a way that's different than Corazon and Doflamingo? Because I think that's kind of similar, right? In the sense of like nature and nurture and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because I think that's obviously what Oda's gonna go for here.
This is to the extreme though. Like like Star Wars, like Luke and Leia being separated at birth, type of shit. So it's definitely similar. Like Dofi and Corazon, there's like a small snippet of it, and then now this is just like an amplified, like
And we know Oda likes to do that, right? Like NL, Doflamingo, and Emu are like very similar characters, like in terms of like having lording over a place, being no like a god or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not worried in the slightest. I guess I understand people being, but so yeah, trope is a trope, as you said. I'm just like, bro, I'm hype, bro.
Yeah, I won't say that I am enthralled by this twin Shanks.
Vocabulary today has been immaculate.
we try, man. We try.
We're in the library, man.
Stay woke, you feel me? No, but yeah, I won't say that I'm fully enthralled by this twin Shanks, but I'm not against it. I don't think that it's bad writing. I don't think that it's a lazy a cop out or anything like that. I think that it's been built up, especially when you think about, like you said earlier, that first meeting that we thought what Shanks had with the Gorosei. So like this has been foreshadowed.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just got to see where it goes. That's where I'm looking at. We really just got to see where it goes over everything.
Yeah, just let it cook, bro. That's it.
I need to see his girl's face too, because the eyes look good, but sometimes the eyes be deceiving, bro. Like you,
it's Kawina, bro. I'm just over the Twitter.
We gotta ignore some niggas. That's really the end result. We just gotta ignore some niggas. But yeah, I actually am interested in this person. Like I'd like, because we, what's crazy is that we saw some of the Gods Knights back in God's Valley. I wonder if their kids will be, Gods Knights. So in today's day and age.
Yeah.
Because we have the when Dragon was talking about the Gods Knights. By the way, Dragon, you're on the clock. You said when the Gods Knights come, you're mobilizing. You're on the clock, Dragon. I'm on your ass.
Yo, clock. Yo.
I'm on his ass. I'm on his ass.
Make it move.
Nah, if Dragon doesn't make a move next year, he's done. He's done. I'm slandering him for the rest of eternity. I've already been slandering him.
Could that be who Oda was talking about in the
man that will show up? If we're assuming that it's not evil Shanks here, that's a possibility.
Or he's the one with the other oceans if he actually has like weather fruit type of shit. You know what I mean? Like he's controlling the other oceans with his weather fruit.
We did say they said another man was gonna cause hell amongst the oceans, so that's definitely another possibility for sure.
All I know is,
I was saying something. I lost my whole train of thought. Slandering Dragon. All right, go ahead. It's fine.
This hate was seething in you.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
I was just gonna say, bro, when I saw this, the only person I could think of was Mihawk. He's gonna be like, "There's two of y'all motherfuckers." Bro, this guy's cooked. He's like, "Nah, man. Like, fuck. I had issues with one of y'all, and then he lost his arm.
Yeah.
There's two of y'all with 3 arms. I can't do it, bro."
I was thinking he might be hyped because it's like, because he didn't want to fight Shanks anymore once he lost his arm. He's like, oh, finally, there's someone Shanks level I could throw hands with.
Oh, he just looks just like Shanks, but he's not Shanks. He's a piece of shit. You know what? Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. A lot of the memes over the past week have been hilarious, talking about Shanks calling Banks to come help fight Mihawk. It's mad funny. The memes this week have been legendary.
The exoneration memes are my favorite. Like Shanks beating the case of being evil or being mad or whatever.
Yeah. Shanks has definitely been fighting the evil allegations for a very long
like
time
6
now.
years.
Yeah. He's definitely got a clean slate now.
Yeah, I'm proud of him.
Bro,
I'm also happy about that too. Like, I'm also very glad that we're not gonna get like a turnaround of Shanks being some heel.
I'm cool with that. That does make me happier about it. Like Shanks is actually, I mean, we still don't know his motives. He's cool, and then we actually has an evil twin brother. Fucking like Sonic Shadow type of shit.
Yeah.
On the topic of the evil Shanks thing and like the problem people have with it, honestly, like the inherited will and all that stuff, and like the fact that like you are not really bound by who your family is, it's about like who you really identify with, and like like found family thing in stories or whatever. Like I'm not really surprised that Oda's going with this for one of his major characters, right? Is gonna embody a lot of the big traits of the story. Like how the Celestial Dragon and how they ruin some people. Like, this Shank's probably going to be one of the worst people ever because he's a Celestial Dragon.
Yeah.
We can find a name for this thing. I know people are calling him Shivs and Stabs instead of Shanks, which I find funny. We got to find someone to call him. But yeah, no, I'm not worried at all.
Yeah, I'm interested. I always have faith in Oda, so I'm definitely interested to see where this goes next year, because this is the last chapter of the year. Officially,
yeah. I'm hoping there's one before the year ends, but I'm not.
Right, because we normally get the leak a few weeks before around this time of the year, so we might get it next week, possibly. Hopefully. If not, it'll be the week after. But yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. All right. Any last questions, comments, concerns?
Remember my shout out. Yo, shout out to DC for the Superman movie coming out, bro. That shit got me hyped this week, bro.
Nah, an hour later is crazy. I respect it. That was crazy. That would have been
lost. That would have been lost in the ether if it was me.
I respect the dedication, man.
Oh man, nah, that shit got me super hyped. And then also James Gunn liked my comment, so you know what? That made
my day. Shout out to James Gunn.
Hell yeah.
All right, that's gonna be it for this episode. Big shout outs to everybody that watched us live. We appreciate you. Everybody in the comments chatting with us. We appreciate you guys as well. Shout out to John Sherrod, Bruce Lee. Much love, much love. If you guys are not watching the episodes live, what are you doing? You're slacking. Twitch.tv/Cali_Mac or YouTube at Strawhat Sitdown. Sunday, 12 p.m. Get in here. Come chat with us. Have a grand old time. It's always fun. Sir. Big shout out to everybody watching and listening to After the Fact. Shout out to everybody listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, YouTube, etc., etc. We appreciate you guys as well. Make sure you guys are following us on all our socials at Strawhat Sitdown on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. You look for us, you will find us. Yeah, we will. We don't know. I don't even know if we're gonna do the chapter if it releases next week. I don't know what we're gonna do, but you follow us on our socials and you'll know what we do when we know what we do. All right, so make sure you guys follow us.
We'll let you guys know.
Yep. We'll keep you guys updated. But that is gonna be it for this episode. Happy holidays to everybody. Merry Christmas to those to celebrate. Happy holidays to everybody else. Much love. Hope you guys spend time with your families. Enjoy yourselves. Be safe. And here's to more One Piece. It's lit.
Yes, sir.
Hope you guys enjoyed. Till next time, take it easy, be safe, be healthy. We appreciate you guys, and we will see y'all when we see y'all. Peace.
Peace, y'all.
Who gon' get down? We are. This that Strawhat Sitdown. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that One Piece? We are. Who gon' get down? We are. This that Strawhat Sitdown. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that One Piece? We are. Strawhat Sitdown crew in the building. We promote to these other podcasts. We gon' put these people in their feelings when they hear this and they know that they can't top this. We spit facts and we poppin' every time an episode is dropping. We see D3 in the corner, Mister, that's a real G with the green screen in the background. Got him looking like he in a real scene. We got Big Mod in the cut. Always ready with rebuttals, but he bring the knowledge when we in the huddle, so you know the crew is never gonna fumble. And it's wild, last but not least. If you ask me, then Cali, mad at Captain, make him rally around me. Every Sunday, we gon' run deep, and we can't stop until we find out about that One Piece. Who gon' get down? We are. This that Strawhat Sitdown. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that One Piece? We are. Who gon' get down? We are. This that Strawhat Sitdown. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that One